It's an interesting and important time to be on the House Intelligence Committee, and we are joined by the brand new ranking member of that committee, Ohio Congressman Mike Turner. Congressman, first of all, congratulations. Welcome. Let's start with Russia. What is going on between Russia and the United States?
Well, Trey, I appreciate Kevin's confidence in taking this new position, and certainly his focus as we look to him becoming the next speaker to return the committee back to national security. And I appreciate your focus this evening on this important issue. This can affect not only, of course, the Biden administration going forward. This is a great test for the Biden administration, but it's also a grave threat to the United States and for our allies in Europe. What Russia has staked out here by saying that they want no additional expansion of NATO, the ability for them to, if you will, invade other countries that formerly were part of the Soviet Union. Putin saying, of course, he wants to expand Russia to its prior borders, and then calling on the United States and our allies to have no weapons based in countries that have joined NATO or exercises in those that have joined since 1997. That includes Poland also. So there's a great swath of Europe that is watching this and is looking for leadership from the Biden administration.
Congressman, I want to play something for you and get you to react on the other side.
I don't know if the decision's been made, and it's clear that we've offered him two paths forward. One is through diplomacy and dialogue. The other is through deterrence and massive consequences for Russia if it renews its aggression against Ukraine. And we're about to test the proposition of which path President Putin wants to take this week.
Congressman, what would those consequences look like? I mean, what sanctions are being contemplated? What would be effective?
Well, they certainly have to be very strong because, as you know, Trey, in this instance, NATO represents no threat to Russia whatsoever. It's a fallacy for Russia to say that a defensive alliance is a threat. But as you look to Russia trying to build this wall between NATO and the countries that Russia used to control, this administration needs to stand strong. It means they need to be crushing sanctions. They need to go directly to the leadership of Russia themselves. They need to go to their economic and certainly their energy production in order to be able to let them know that there are consequences. If there's no deterrence, if there's no consequences to Russia, they're not going to stop at Ukraine. And that, of course, threatens all the rest of Europe.
Congressman, I want to ask you kind of a big picture question. There are some, not many, but I heard one who was interviewing you kind of question, why does the Ukraine matter to the United States? And further question, why would we pick the Ukraine side over Russia? I am not one who is wondering that, but for those who may be wondering, what is the answer?
Well, Russia is an authoritarian state. It's certainly been aggressive against its neighbors. You can see what's happening in Kazakhstan right now, that they will use their military force against those who seek self-determination. Ukraine is a democracy, elected. Russia's not showing up on the border of Ukraine with ballot boxes. They're showing up with tanks. And Ukraine is an aspiring nation to join NATO, but it certainly abuts both the Black Sea, which is important for commerce for NATO allies, the United States itself, and it abuts NATO allies. If Russia actually believes that it has the ability to readjust countries' borders back to 1997. That, of course, affects Poland. It affects real allies of the United States, and it certainly destabilizes all of Europe and threatens the United States.
Let's switch to China. What is China up to, and what can and should the U.S. do about it?
Well, this is another part of the threat that Russia and this Ukraine crisis poses to the Biden administration. If they don't stand strong, they're going to certainly see a more aggressive China. Taiwan will certainly be threatened. What China is currently doing is vastly expanding its nuclear weapons capabilities. Now, they've called it modernizing. It's not modernizing. They're fielding new weapons that the United States does not currently have, that threatens both the United States, our ability to project force, and certainly our allies in the Pacific. Like Russia, they're growing in strength. The United States, if it doesn't step up to the plate, could very well see both Russia and China exceeding in several areas our military capabilities. And that, of course, not only would threaten the United States, it would threaten all of our allies and certainly change the balance of power in both Europe and the Pacific.
Congressman, you were interested in these issues the entire time we worked together, and no one on the committee worked harder than you did when we were on that committee together. So I certainly understand why Leader McCarthy picked you, and we wish you all the best in your new role as the ranking member on that important committee.
Trey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.